Mellow, soothing sound of the harmonica draws you into the world of jazz.
Music is important, you know. It's not something that is trivial, and it is important. It will help people, it'll help everybody. We can all get to a place that's really beautiful and pure in a sense.
Gregoire Maret expresses emotions with his harmonica. To him, music is another voice.
The thing about music is that it really carries all the different emotions that we human beings have. You know, it can be despair, it can be hope, it can be anger, it can be just about anything. Being a musician is really about serving the music, you know, and I'm trying to be able to bring emotions to people, the emotions that I feel to people, and hoping that we can kind of, in a sense, communicate like that.
Whatever the language, people can communicate their feelings through music. Grégoire wants to discover more about Korea through music. What kind of sounds will Korea, and Daegu in particular, play for him? Daegu is the third largest city in Korea after Seoul and Busan. Gregoire Maret's journey in Daegu begins by the Nokhyang River.
Instrument is just a tool to be able to play music, and what really it goes back to is really about the music.
Up until the 1950s, the Samunjin dock used to be the center of waterway transportation in Daegu. It has deep ties with music and instruments as well. Through the Samunjin dock, other cultures entered Daegu. That included music as well. It's not surprising then that Daegu is called the City of Music.
It's quite touching to witness what came out of it, and the beauty in the music that was created out of it.
About 120 years ago, on March 26, 1900, a new instrument was brought into Korea via Samunjin. It was none other than the piano.
I don't play piano myself, really. I write music on piano, always. But I have a real admiration and well, a passion for the piano because it can do everything, basically. You can play harmonies, rhythm, and melodies at the same time. So that's something that I found to be really, really exciting for me.
Interested in all kinds of instruments, Grégoire can create a wide range of sounds with his little harmonica, from classical to jazz. Always open to collaborating in various music genres, Gregoire Maret is recognized for his originality and creativity. What kind of music will he discover in the city of Daegu? This time, Grégoire heads to Cheongna Hill, where Christian missionaries settled in the early 20th century. Cheongna Hill still bears the traces of the 1900s Daegu, when the first piano was brought into the city. It is also the cradle of Daegu's modern music. There's a monument dedicated to a song about Cheongna Hill.
Music is life, you know. Music is a reflection of everybody's life. So you go through all the emotion, all the range, which is from sadness, joy, anger, everything, and you express all that through music.
안녕하세요.
Nice to meet you.
반갑습니다. Nice to meet you.
Grégoire follows the guide into the house of missionary Chamnes, built in 1910. Its Western architectural style blends in well with Daegu's landscape. The house currently serves as a medical museum. Missionaries who came to Daegu in the early 20th century spread not only Christianity, but many other aspects of Western culture, including advanced medical skills.
무릎을 못 쓰게 되면 안전뱅이가 된다고 당연히 그냥 생각을 했던 시절이었어요. 근데 주사 바늘로 찔러서 고름을 쭉 빼내면 며칠 이내로 걸어 다닐 수 있는데 한국에 전혀 없던 그런 의료 장비가 이제 근대화 바람이 불면서 조선에 대구에 들어오게 되는 겁니다. 짜잔! 피아노!
The Chamnes piano is known as the oldest piano in Daegu. It was brought in through Samunjin and took a lot of planning and work to transport.
사람이 죽으면 이렇게 이동하는 상여 막대기 긴 게 있는데 그 막대기 위에다가 이 피아노를 올려서 옮겼는데 3일 정도 걸렸다는 거. 비록 선교사님들이 찬송가나 그네들의 종교 의식을 전파하기 위해서 갖고 왔지만 근대 음악을 접하게 되는 아주 중요한 계기가 되는 악기죠.
The introduction of the first piano set off a wave of modern music in the city.
The fact that there is a place to remember where the first piano was brought in here, just is a witness of this, you know, of the fact that it's so important for the culture here. That's something that I admire, really. I think it's really absolutely incredible.
The modern period in Korean history was a bleak time when the country was colonized by Japan. This staircase leading to Cheongna Hill is one of the vestiges of the colonial history.
365일 태극기가 휘날리는 곳인데 3.1운동 집결지로 가기 위해서는 이 길을 꼭 지나가야 되거든요. 태극기를 가슴에 품고 여학생들은 모의로 빨래하러 가는 안악내처럼 변장을 하고 남학생들은 천무시장에 가는 장사꾼처럼 변장을 해서 이곳까지 무사히만 지나갈 수 있으면 3.1운동 집결지로 도착할 수 있었다고 하거든요. 음악가들 그다음에 그 소설가들이 이곳을 다니시면서 산책을 많이 하셨다고 해서 그 산책의 길, 명상의 길 이렇게 불리기도 하거든요.
1919. Independence fighters walked through this street, carrying the national flag in their hearts. Banned from enjoying their own culture, how did artists feel when they came here? Their ardent wish to regain their country's sovereignty finally came true in the form of the Declaration of Independence. It was music that helped Koreans stay strong during the difficult time.
I would say that music is the witness, you know, and it tells just the truth, always the truth. So it will tell you literally what happened to people through time, and it will never lie. So if you listen to music, you'll know the people. Obviously, really hardship that happened during the invasion from Japan, and you understand why they have so much to express. If I have to hear through the music what Koreans went through, I can say I don't know factually because I don't know everything that happened, but I can tell you that it was really, really difficult, and the music speaks louder than words. That's all I can say.
There's another place that pays homage to music and its power to comfort people. It's the Hyangchon Cultural Center. Located in what was the first bank in Daegu, this cultural center is a little different. It recreates the Hyangchon area, where artists used to gather and nurture hope even during the Korean War in the 1950s. 7 decades later, the Artists' Den has become a cultural attraction for modern-day people. Art has the power to transcend time and ideological differences and comfort people during the most tumultuous times. which explains why artists in Daegu remained so proactive during the Korean War.
Then he is a really famous poet. He used to here because of the Korean War.
Poet and journalist Koo Sang wrote wasteland poems in 1956 about overcoming the pain of war and finding salvation. Western painting artist Lee In-sung, a key figure in Korean modern art, portrayed the plight of the common people during the colonial period by depicting bucolic scenery using powerful brushstrokes. Then what about music? Grégoire visits a place where he can learn about the history of musical instruments. Records from the Enlightenment period and the occupation era catch his eye.
This book is about a brochure is about hit song album. That means best song album.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a little small, but it's colorful, right? That's small music books. It's been 100 years,
Wow.
right? This is a real asset.
Yeah.
It contains hardship. During the Korean War, they have to keep their asset. It's like their emotional mind, the ruined history. It can show us. This is a real one. If you sit down here and
And a jazz musician of all, I can relate to struggling, with your art and try to understand. I understand what it means to really have to fight to try to create and try to protect your art form. The beauty of the people here in Korea to take so much at heart the importance of such a thing.
In fact, there is another reason Grégoire is visiting this cultural center. He wanted to see the oldest classical music listening room in Korea, called Nokhyang. Nokhyang was founded in 1946 as an artists' club by late Lee Chang-soo, who came to Hyangcheon seeking refuge. It was the only place where young artists could immerse themselves in art during the Japanese colonial rule and the Korean War.
이 레코드들은 저희 부친께서 장만하신 거예요. 1940년대 레코드는 저 안쪽에 있고 지금 이건 1950년대 한국 전쟁 당시에서부터 시작해서 1980년대까지.
Wow.
이런 레코드 같은 경우에는 1950년대에 SP 플레이어, 스탠다드 플레이어에서 막 롱 플레이어 레코드로 바뀔 때 나온 레코드.
This is Korea's very first LP vinyl record.
한번 들어볼까요?
Grégoire decides to take a listen.
I hope that my music at least will ring true to certain hearts in this world, and that maybe some people will keep them in their records, but honored to be part of something like that in the future would be obviously something incredible. I've never even dreamt of it, but if it were to happen, I would be very, very thankful.
우리 여기 녹향음악실은 저희 아버지가 20대 후반에 창업을 하셔가지고 70여 년을 그 하는 열정을 쏟아부었다는 거죠. 그걸 저는 그냥 사장시키기가 싫었다는 겁니다.
With the advent of home audio systems in the 1980s, Nokhyang's golden age came to a close. But Lee Jung-chun still holds on to his father's passion to this day.
저희 아버지께서 아끼시던 물건들이에요.
That's a treasure, you know, that should never really disappear. And I really salute and admire this person to having dedicated his life, and before him his father, to just preserving this music and those old records, great qualities. Also offering us to have a moment to just witness it, and listening to a little bit of the music is something quite amazing.
The music of Daegu, which flourished during the most difficult times, continues to move people's hearts today, thanks to those who remember and preserve it.
I get to know much more about, of course, Daegu, but Korea and history and people, and so I'm appreciative of what this country has to offer in terms of culture and in music in particular, and I'll never forget it. I would try to create a thing that would be reflecting the times. That means difficult times. But at the same time, I would try to create real beauty, to bring something for people to help them, to uplift them.
Grégoire plays the harmonica, thinking of that chapter in modern history, marked by tragedies. But there are ways to light up people's hearts, even in difficult times. And that's the message his music seems to send. This time, Grégoire visits Yeongnam University to learn about Korean traditional music of the pre-modern era. Grégoire follows the unique sound down the hallway. While planning his trip to Korea, Grégoire was determined to learn more about Korean traditional music, and he has come to the right place to do so. Four-Man Nori is a group consisting of young gugak musicians whose philosophy is to have fun with music. Each of the members can play 2 or 3 traditional instruments. They pick the theme of their performance right on the spot, without any sheet music.
You know, this is kind of quite unique. I feel there's much more jamming in a sense than what I've heard in previous interpretation of music, traditional music in different countries from Asia.
The instruments, the melodies, and the harmony they create together are all totally new to Grégoire.
A lot of communication. I mean, it's music, and music is all about listening and communicating and having respect for each other, so we embrace everybody's presence and input to be able to create something together that's more powerful and beautiful than if we were alone. That's really the essence of music.
Hello.
Hey, how are you? Could you kind of tell me from a standpoint of being a novice in this music, what's the role of each instrument?
검고란 악기가 베이스나 리듬 패턴 같은 역할을 해주면 우리가 거기에서 서로 영감을 받아서 어떤 멜로디를 진행도 시키고 그 분위기도 어떤 연주자가 어떤 분위기로 우리를 이끌어 주느냐에 따라서 우리가 그런 그 다음으로 이렇게 즉흥적인 연주로 진행이 되는 그런 음악입니다. 그 어떤 우리나라 민요라든가 어떤 우리나라의 그 즉흥 음악 장르가 있는 그런 곡들에서 많은 영감을 얻고, 하지만 전통적으로 그런 즉흥 음악을 지금까지 해오긴 하지만 우리는 지금을 살고 있는 사람이기 때문에 이 전통적인 음악 방식, 즉흥 연주하는 방식의 그 어떤 요소들을 우리가 갖고 와서 그것들을 함께 이렇게 만들어가고 또 어떻게 보면 풀어나간다고도 할 수 있는 그런 음악을 만들고 있습니다.
With your instrument, I heard like there's different sounds that you get. Something it sounds like there's a reed almost, and then sometimes it sounds really just like a flute.
이 청공이라고 하는 이 구멍 위에 이 갈대 속에서 채취하는 청이라는 것을 이제 여기다 붙여가지고 대금을 연주할 때 이게 떨려서 그런 그 버징 사운드 같은 게 이제 나는 건.
But you control it, like
Yeah.
you can stop it or.
네, 우리는 이것을 이제 컨트롤을 할 때 뚜껑을 이제 좀 닫거나 열거나, 그다음에 습기로 인해서 그 소리가 많이 울거나 그런 식으로 이제 컨트롤합니다.
Really interested and attracted by, well, the flute, the ability that it does, because it will kind of influence me in terms of things that I'll try to do on my instrument that are basically impossible, but it inspires me to try to strive towards them.
Grégoire listens carefully to every sound produced by the instrument. The ajeng is performed by scraping a horsehair bow against 7 to 10 strings. Its sounds have a deep, sad echo.
Oh,
wow. And how do you know where are the notes here? Because the space is so big and there's no fret to give you any sort of indication. How do you kind of find your way with the notes and the scales?
줄의 세기를 메모리하는 거죠.
It takes a lot of practice to master the ajeng, because the notes are not marked on the instrument.
끌어올리기도 하고 끌어내리기도 하고.
The gomungo is also a traditional instrument that was created in the 4th century. It has 6 strings.
The bass is this one, right?
Yeah.
So how does that work? Like, what's the tuning already of those?
기본적으로 이 검은고라는 악기는 6줄을 기본으로 하는데요. 중에 이 2줄만
연주자가 직접 운지를 해서 음정을 낼 수 있습니다. 이 나머지 네 줄은 어떤 특정한 음정을 연주하기보다 그냥 미리 맞춰놓은 음정을 연주하게 됩니다.
And just in general, by the bass, because of the instrument I play is very high, so I always relate to the bass because my instrument is the exact opposite. So, this is, what note is this and this?
지금은 이게 C#으로 돼 있고 이게 G#으로 지금 세팅이 돼 있는 상태고요.
This slender instrument is the hegum. It is played by scraping a horsehair bow against two strings.
I mean, it's really interesting to be introduced to this amazing instrument. Anything else but just the beauty of their colors, individual colors, and the music they could do. So to have the chance to talk to really accomplished musicians on each of these instruments is a great chance to be able to really be introduced to it and understand how they work.
Grégoire decides to have an impromptu session with foreman Nori.
Maybe can bring something to it and that they would feel happy to have within them, within this group, you know. So it's quite challenging, to be honest. But I always love challenges, so let's try.
Playing a new music genre is fascinating, but also a challenge.
It's just completely different from anything that I've ever done, so it's like really going into the unknown. Like, let's just put it like that. I'm going into the unknown. I relate to it emotionally, and in terms of emotion, you know, I can totally feel it. But it's just a vocabulary that I don't have, so I had to try to find a very quick way to adapt.
Grégoire gets the hang of it in no time. Music has the power to overcome language and cultural barriers and connect people of different backgrounds.
But for me, it was a beautiful thing because it's about the spirit, you know, meeting and helping each other. Like, I felt that they had my back. They were helping me. They were also responding to what I was doing. I was trying to respond to what they were doing, and we had a dialogue, and that's, I believe, the spirit of music in a sense.
Creating a harmony must be one of the charms of music. Foreman Nori and Gregoire Maret become one through music. what does it mean to them?
그레고어 마레 씨 같은 경우에는 평상시에도 제가 이렇게 관심이 가던 그런 훌륭한 연주자였는데 이런 기회가 돼서 우리 한국 음악을 가지고 이런 전통적인 요소가 충만한 어떤 그런 곡을 같이 이렇게 교감을 통해서 음악을 이 짧은 시간에 만들었다는 게 너무 즐거웠습니다.
음악이 가지고 있는 가장 큰 장점이 그런 국가나 뭐 인종이나 뭐 종교나 그런 세대 간 그런 그 경계 없이 그 소통할 수 있는 어떤 그 보이지 않는 끈과 같은 거잖아요. 그리고 그런 언어이고 보이지 않는 언어이고 그래서 그런 거를 정말 절실히 느낄 수 있었던 그런 자리였었던 것 같습니다.
Korean music, and they welcome me even though I'm not part of that world, and I felt this exchange was real special in a sense, you know. It's to be continued, that's the way I would say it. So I am satisfied by the fact that there is another set of horizons I can look into and I can try to like reach and get better.
To Grégoire, discovering new music is like having an adventure. It inspires him as an artist. This is the reason he never stops pushing the limits of what he can do as a musician.
When I'm able to touch people and bring something to them that is meaningful, that will always be a treasure for me. In a sense, really connect to people with true and beautiful emotions that are hopefully uplifting everybody, myself and the public.
This time, Grégoire is on his way to meet a contemporary Korean singer. And to do that, he must take an unusual pink-colored bus. This bus is themed after singer Kim Kwang-seok, widely known as a singer-poet. Anyone in Daegu can take this bus tour to learn about singer Kim Kwang-seok and listen to his songs.
여러분들도 아시다시피 이 버스는 동시대를 살았던 하지만 먼저 생을 마감한 천재 음유 시인인 김광석 씨의 노래와 그의 이야기를 담아내는 김광석 투어버스입니다. 신나고 즐겁게 출발을 하도록 하겠습니다.
So I think sometimes music speaks louder than words. You know, you don't necessarily need to hear and understand all the words. Obviously, it will help you and it makes it even better.
The bus stops at a small memorial hall dedicated to the singer. A musician who lives on in his songs. Grégoire wants to know more. This place puts on display Kim Kwang-seok's songs, videos, and relics. Kim Kwang-seok released 6 albums before he passed away in 1996 at the age of 31. Many Koreans still find solace in his lyrical, poignant music. One of his relics draws Grégoire's attention. It's the singer's guitar.
Well, Martin guitar is really a really famous brand that obviously, as you can see here in pictures, has been used by many great musicians and composers, and it became legendary really in the world of people who play guitar and love, you know, acoustic guitar. So it has a beautiful history of being there to inspire musicians, you know, and to creating music.
It's the first signature guitar dedicated to a Korean singer. Before him, signature guitars were produced for such world-renowned musicians like Eric Clapton and John Lennon. Grégoire also sees an interesting video. It shows Kim Kwang-suk as a loving father with his daughter.
Kids, man, there's nothing like kids. It's just magical, always, you know. So yeah, I mean, being a musician and being a dad, I can totally relate. And yes, it's really, really touching. It's really nice.
The melodies and lyrics of his songs were like the window to his soul. His music, completed after many failures, was a consolation to many tired youths.
The way you see like somebody writing and composing, you know, where they have these corrections and stuff like that, so it's interesting, it's nice.
And the two musicians have this in common: the harmonica.
그대 떠나 보내고 돌아와 술잔 앞에 앉으며 눈물 나나.
His music is already a lot said just with the notes, you know, and his voice. And he's got a beautiful tone, like he can really sing.
너무 아픈 사랑은 사랑이 아니었음을. 젖은 어깨 스치며 지나가고 내 지친 시간들이 창에 어디며 그대 목소리 너무 아픈 사랑 사랑이 아니었으면 이제 우리 다시는 사랑으로 세상에 오지 말기. 그립던 말들도 묻어버리기. 못간
The fact that they love the music so much that they'll create a house, a museum for you, and they'll have this whole tour within the city, and everybody's remembering you. There's a street that is dedicated to you. It's touching to see people remembering so intensely 20 years after his death, you know, that is still full part of the Korean life and culture. It's never been forgotten, and it probably never will, so it's beautiful.
Night deepens in Daegu. This will be his final stop. Where will he spend the last night in Daegu? Grégoire follows the sound of music in quick steps. A narrow staircase leading to the basement takes him to a whole new world. A soft jazz melody caresses the ear. Nokhyang Quartet, led by the renowned jazz pianist Nokhyang, casts jazz over the city at night. It's the perfect place for Grégoire, who plays the jazz harmonica, to wrap up his trip in Daegu. Grégoire has put on numerous jazz performances around the world. What is the charm of jazz music?
Music is a universal language, you know, and jazz in particular is a great form of music that will help everybody really kind of communicate and embrace each other and just have a moment where we just have a conversation, you know, and also including the audience in that.
It's a magical moment when everyone in the audience share their emotions through music. Old Blue is the oldest jazz club in Daegu that opened 25 years ago.
그레고아 마레 씨 큰 박수.
Nokhyang proposes a jam session with Grégoire. The stage, the audience, and the musicians all make up this very special night in Daegu.
Not only I can play the melody, but then once I've played the melody, I can play over the structure, the chords, and create my own melodies. And then the other people, if they have also an understanding of the language we're speaking together, they can answer that and start bringing ideas, which I will answer to.
Playing music with someone for the first time is a challenge, but they listen to each other and synchronize their tunes. Becoming one through music. This is the reason Gregoire Maret plays music.
no idea really what to expect. I was not sure, and I thought we did create some music, you know, and we had a moment where we all respected each other, and we were there out to try to create something also beautiful in a sense, and try to uplifting people, ourselves and other people in the audience. It felt really good, you know, it felt natural, it felt organic, and that's what music is really about. You know, it's about jazz in particular, it's about being able to meet people like that and share a moment, a beautiful moment together, you know, and about making sure the ego stays aside, is away, and we are here to help each other. So it's a beautiful moment, it's always something really special. And as long as people respect each other and listen to each other, it's good. And right now it was nice, it was very nice.